do. And, so much research on entrepreneurship has really been, there was this thinking that entrepreneurs took more risks than other folks, but they found in a set of research that was done that they actually don't. They learn from their risks. They learn from their mistakes that don't go well. And then, okay, we tried that. Oh, that didn't work out well. What do we learn from it? How can we apply it on to the next thing? And Ryan, when you're talking about your dashboard, one little thing not working, it's kind of like that. Okay, so this isn't all right, great, but everything else is working. What do we need to take from this and move forward?
Yeah, you know what I love about this? We have programmers in different parts of the world.
Mm-hmm.
They get along.
Right.
They don't even work for the same company.
Wow.
I hadn't thought about that till we were just talking about this.
Mm-hmm.
I find that actually fascinating now that we're thinking about it.
Yeah.
How much does personality play? Or is it not even relative in the scheme of things?
I think it's only relative if you have someone whose personality is, an outlier, really challenging to handle kind of personality.
Oh, mm-hmm.
But I think for most personalities, by and large, as long as it's really more, it's about the vulnerability, and I think it's really about the emotional intelligence, emotional agility piece. So if you have some emotional intelligence and you can understand how to connect to different people and you can read people, you can be a little bit agile, stop and think of, like we said before, stop and take a breath and think about how you want to respond to things. Your personality is really not going to matter very much.
Mm-hmm.
And you can try to, personality clashes are really another way of saying, I don't understand you, and because I don't understand you, you're making me uncomfortable. And I find you hard to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know we haven't talked about it in this show, in this particular show or conversation, but we have talked about it, and it's trust.
Yeah.
Underneath all of this, there's got to be a tip about trust and building trusting relationships.
Yeah, it's really, well, I think when people are, having psychological safety or vulnerability, that inherent in that is trust. Yes, absolutely. Because you cannot feel safe without trusting the people you're with. You cannot trust without having some level of safety with them. So it's about building trust. It's about assuming the people are well-intentioned by and large. Until, of course, sometimes people aren't, and you get that information, you handle it. But by and large, most people are actually well-intentioned, even if their impact isn't great sometimes. And that's another aspect of it, which takes me to another tip, which allows this trust to build, which is that saying that I didn't come up with, but so many people have said, which is you got to slow down to speed up.
Oh.
So in order to, and your slowing down could be for an hour. It doesn't have to be for a month. Okay, we have a new team forming, right? We're across disciplines. We haven't ever worked together like your programmers were around the world. Let's take an hour or two. Let's get on Skype or Zoom or whatever, and let's design a call where we get to know each other and figure out how we're going to work together. What are going to be our agreements around working together so that we can hit the ground running on this really important project versus we don't have time to spend an hour or two getting to know each other. So we're going to bungle around and miscommunicate, right? I mean, it doesn't even make sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Who would want to do that, right?
Right.
Sounds very painful, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, and part of this too of what I heard you talk about is that this has to be looked at almost like one layer at a time, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also, in some ways, there's a simplicity to it that I like, that if we understand how to connect with each other, if we understand how to relate to each other, at least at professional levels, in both cases, we actually can work together.
Yeah.
And if we peel back most organizational issues and problems all the way back down to their core, it's usually that people don't know how to work together, so they can't solve problems well, make decisions well, communicate effectively, manage up, manage down, whatever. And that's what I found is the basis of most things. If not, I don't want to use the word all, but I'd say almost all problems I've ever seen.
Yeah. What a great show. Wow, the time has just gone by so quickly. Thank you so much for today. I wanted to ask you, what's your personal message? What would you like to leave us with here?
The personal message is that I was working in an organization a couple of months ago doing some teaming and team building work, and this was the first time this company had come together to do anything like that, so it was new to them. And at the end of the session, it was really great because when we were debriefing, someone actually said, this gentleman said, I'm getting that this is all about communication. It's really about communication. And that was an amazing thing to hear because it is actually almost all about communication. Because once we communicate effectively, we can get so much done in our work and get so much done in our company and for the world. So that's my message.
And you also work with organizations and teach communication workshops and coaching on that.
Absolutely. Love to do that.
All right, everyone. Thank you all for tuning us in, turning us on. Please go to culturalbrilliance.com. If you want to find out more about us, go to transformationtalkradio.com, consciousbusinesschannel.com. Also, for those of you out there, if you've missed any part of any of Claudette's shows, just go to culturalbrilliance.com, and they're right there on the radio page. Thanks, Claudette, for a great show.
Thanks, Pat.
All right, everybody, we'll see you next time.
Hit show Cultural Brilliance Radio, the DNA of organizational excellence with Claudette Rowley. Conversations that are transforming the world of culture and business. You can download this podcast and find out more about Claudette and her breakthrough work at ClaudetteRowley.com. Please contact Claudette and find out how you can create a brilliant culture.